Hi, I'm Charlotte Jameson, Chief Policy Officer at the Michigan Environmental Council. Across Michigan, new data centers are being proposed what seems like every week, and more are surely on the way. Data centers have been around for a long time and mostly have been used to support cloud storage needs. This new breed of hyperscale data center are due to the large need for data storage for powering artificial intelligence systems. As somebody who's dedicated my professional life to protecting the environment, I have real concerns about how these new hyperscale data centers will impact the people and the places that we love. Unfortunately, it's growing increasingly clear that Michigan will have to contend with data centers. So the Environmental Council has been working to ensure that there are strong safeguards in place to protect our environment and our pocketbooks. There are three primary categories where policymakers can enforce regulations that protect our environment. And this is where the Environmental Council has been directing our advocacy efforts. Let's start with energy. Some data centers are relatively modest in size. For example, the Deep Green project that has been proposed in downtown Lansing. Others, these so-called hyperscale facilities, like the one proposed in Saline Township, will use as much energy as it takes to power 1 million homes. And that level of demand really changes the math for our state. Let's just say a company comes in with a very large power demand. The local grid is going to need upgrades to meet that demand. It's going to need a new transmission substation, new poles, new wires. It also needs power plants, solar, wind, and battery storage to meet this increase in electricity. And some of those costs get spread across all ratepayers. So that means people like you and people like me are paying for the infrastructure needed to power the data center. Even worse, that new demand could be met by extending the life of fossil fuel plants or creating new dirty methane gas plants, and by slowing down our transition to clean energy. And that, frankly, is just not a fair deal for Michigan communities. But we can enact better protections. With stronger regulations, data center companies would pay for the infrastructure upgrades required to serve their facilities, and that way ensure those costs are not passed on to us. They would also prioritize bringing new renewable energy online to match the data center's demand, rather than crowding out existing clean energy resources or causing expensive, dirty fossil fuel power plants to stay online longer than their useful life. Bottom line, Michigan has bold and really important clean energy goals, and data center growth should accelerate progress towards them, not undermine it. And Michiganders shouldn't be left holding the bag to pay for the huge energy demand increases. The companies creating that demand should pay for it. The next factor I want to talk about is water. Many data centers use water to cool their servers. Some use relatively modest amounts. Others can use millions of gallons per day at peak operation. And it goes without saying that Michigan is obviously a water-rich state, but that doesn't mean that water is unlimited. Plus, our freshwater resources are globally rare and critical to protect. So it's important to understand the full life cycle of water use at these facilities so we can enact safeguards at each step, starting from where the water is extracted to how it's used in the cooling process to what happens to the wastewater at the other end. So at the front end of the project, regulations should hold data centers to transparent public discourse about where water will be extracted from and how much water the center is going to use daily and annually. And at the final stage of the process, data centers should be accountable to proper wastewater management. That way they prevent harmful thermal and chemical contamination and ensure that discharged water isn't harming our drinking water, our local wildlife, and our watersheds. Simply put, communities deserve to know how much water is being used and how it's managed. Stronger regulations can hold data centers accountable for the full system of water use, from withdrawal to the use in the facility to the management of wastewater, and also for consistent and stronger reporting on water usage. Last, but certainly not least, is land use. Where a data center is built and how it navigates that land's ecosystem makes a real difference. Without strong policy safeguards, Data centers can develop on farmlands, on forested lands, or open green space, even when brownfields or already developed industrial sites are available. Stronger regulations would ensure these projects must prioritize selecting already developed land, incorporating native landscaping, and responsible stormwater management, and plan for infrastructure upgrades upfront to ensure costs are not pushed onto local taxpayers. And though land use decisions are often made at the township or city level, we need clear statewide guardrails so communities are negotiating these protections one project at a time. So, bottom line, before we see data centers developed in Michigan, we need to put in place policies that protect our water, keep energy clean and affordable, and safeguard our communities. And you can help us enact these safeguards by supporting legislation and legislators that champion these critical policies, or even by proactively writing to your local and state officials to let them know that you believe data center innovation should not come at the expense of our people, our water, and our land. A directory of legislators across the state can be found in the video description here, but we encourage you to research your local and county officials and to share your own feedback.